Hey guys, here we are at the premiere of John Wick 4. We're interviewing some people, some strangers that we've never met any of these guys before. Guys, what are your names?
Patrick.
I'm Sam.
Amy and Carl, what are your guys' names? What did you think about the movie? Hey! What up, y'all? It's the Normies coming at you with a little bit of a movie discussion. This time is John Wick 4.
John Wick.
The Wickening.
We will be discussing spoilers. Spoiler warning. This is your spoiler warning. We're going to be discussing spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this video. Spoilers.
It was amazing!
Spoilers.
My name is Chris Bobby Yaga Johnson.
I am Pat Wick.
I am Serge Wick.
I am Mickey the Assassin.
These are our dogs. We got our dags here because it's a very dag-centered movie. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker.
Aw. Could you guys kill people if you had to?
This one?
Yeah. No?
This one, no. This one would go. No.
Maybe a toddler.
Goodness.
Maybe a toddler, yeah.
Good.
Maybe a little baby. She a little baby killer. Yeah? You a little baby killer? Yeah? Are you a little baby killer?
I will consume the souls of the damned.
Yeah, you are.
So, how do we feel about this movie? Let's answer those questions before Pat takes us further down this dark hole.
Yeah, let's just go one by one. Chris, what'd you think? What'd you think about the movie?
I like the part where the dog got hit by a car.
What?
Yeah!
I knew
And he took it like a G. He was just like, "Arr."
Dog Wick! I supremely enjoyed this movie. There was a brief moment in the beginning where I wasn't sure in which direction it was going to go. But once we got to it and once I understood the story, I thought it was awesome. I also enjoyed that I understood that they were just going to essentially, like a true John Wick, be moving from one action set piece to the next, to the next, to the next. I found that to be very fun. Very good movie. 10 out of 10.
I definitely agree with him. It's a 10 out of 10 movie. I definitely really enjoyed it. I personally think this movie was better than the John Wick 3 movie. I actually enjoyed it much better than that. I actually remember more of it because I enjoyed more of it. And the actions, over-the-top actions, but that's what you come for John Wick, and that's why I went for John Wick. And yeah, I wasn't mad at it. And I hope they keep doing it. This genre created, I guess, a fandom for people who just want to see some like nasty-ass murders and just like in a cool way. And yeah.
Gun Fu redefined, like how John Woo used to do it. But this has been awesome. I do agree this one was more memorable. I saw the others in theaters once. I remember 1 the most, 2 and 3 I vaguely remember. But this one, like, I could like really recount like the things that happened in it. Mm-hmm. So the world building was phenomenal. Felt like a video game to where they, you know how like when you're at a high enough level, the grunts become harder to kill. Mm-hmm. So like those samurai armored people, like they took multiple shots, and like he had to like work to destroy even like one person. So you know it wasn't just like your typical action scene where
fuck this production. Nobody gives a fuck about what you guys are saying. Give me biscuits.
No, not Froppy, please.
It's Froppy.
Where's my biscuits at?
don't hurt Froppy.
Fuck that hoe.
It wasn't your typical like action scene where he's just mowing down loads of people. He has to like actually work to take down like even a single person.
I think if it was that easy for all the movies, it would have gotten boring by now. So it's yeah, pretty much what everyone said. It was a great movie.
Dude, that was awesome. That was honestly like way better than I thought it would be. Way better put together than I thought it would be. And like some of the scenes were just incredible as far as like the tension they build. That was I was impressed. Especially for a 4th sequel. That's hard to come by.
Sam, what about you?
Ditto to everything he said. It was good. It was the best action movie I've seen in a long time.
I think 3 had like more frequent action. It was like more like nonstop relentless, but this one had like way bigger, way more sustained set pieces and way more ambitious like camera styles, shooting styles. It was just like, man, they were doing things that I've never seen before. It was just amazing. Definitely one of my favorites.
So this one had a couple of I'm gonna call them like little tiny homages to video games and movies.
There's definitely, more so in this movie, it was a definite tie-in to The Matrix.
The first action set piece being a slight homage, it felt like to me, at least, to Cyberpunk. I don't know if you guys have played Cyberpunk, but the first Osaka Tower, Arasaka Tower, kind of, and then the music too, it was kind of cyberpunky.
As soon as you hear that, and you're like, all right, stuff's about to go down. You're like, I'm into this. And there's a game, check it out, called Ruiner. I'm definitely inspired by that. Like, to me, it was like, oh, this is Ruiner. Like, he's just coming through, just like.
You are in a place called Arasaka Tower in Cyberpunk, and the music's playing, and also Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
Boom, so you get that. Then there's Lawrence Fishburne blowing out the match, right? And then it cuts to the sunset where they're fighting and riding in the desert. It's literally a match cut that they use in Lawrence of Arabia, and it's Lawrence Fishburne blowing out the match to do that. Like the movie is like literally doing that, and then you get the Hotline or the Hotline Miami stuff towards the end where it's the over the top. Which action set piece kicked the most ass?
The top-down shooting sequence in the French apartment building was so incredible. The camera work there. I can't pick out one specific kill or death in my mind, but just everything about that scene was so good.
Have you seen the video game Hotline Miami?
Yeah, it's very, very inspired by video games. You could tell, especially maybe that video game in particular. But
favorite fight scene was the one where it's a overview shot.
Never seen that shot before ever.
But the music is also similar to what you would hear in that video game, and it's it really feels like they put in a lot of these a love letter to a lot of things. You got your
Keanu Reeves in general.
Lawrence of Arabia all the way to video games.
One of our friends, he was saying that he sees a lot of things from Keanu Reeves' whole career, like little Matrix things that I noticed too. I do think that it's kind of a love letter to his career, and it's just there's a lot of little Easter eggs that if you want to see them, they're there, and if you don't, then it's
still enjoyable.
It's still great.
Also, to be specific too, in Cyberpunk, there is a flashback with Keanu Reeves' character, and you are attacking Arasaka Tower. That's a huge portion of the game.
Yeah,
and so
Osaka.
Osaka, Arasaka, shit.
So what was your guys' favorite part?
An easy one would be that over-the-top scene. I think it's going to be a lot of people's. But I really like the nunchucks when they grab those. You could tell Keanu Reeves is very proficient with it. I mean, you said he's a black belt in judo or whatever, but still, I didn't know this dude could use nunchucks and so sufficiently in the way he just wrapped it around his neck when he needed to use both of his hands.
That's what's crazy about him is he could be a real life assassin. He has enough. He has enough training at this point to hold it down.
He might be. Who knows, man?
I
do like seeing Hiroyuki Sanada versus Donnie Yen.
God,
that was
top tier.
Pretty incredible. They had to nerf Sanada a little bit. He was already shot when the showdown started happening, but still, incredible stuff. Especially if you are these guys from Japan. And you're seeing them in this headlining this Hollywood movie, and the showdown is just as epic as it needed to be.
I think Donnie Yen was probably my favorite part. We only saw it once, but those fast punches,
the little Ip Man boys,
bro, it's so iconic for him to do that. And I wish they would have maybe given us one more, but it was just to see that's his actual speed. He's doing that.
That's crazy.
It makes me think Rogue One was great on its own too, but man, it's someone watched Rogue One and was we could do more with that.
But you know what? If he gets typecast, I think he's just so good at playing a blind person that can fight. That it's just it's really entertaining to watch the way he can fight somebody over here but be looking here, and he just sells it so.
It kind of reminds me
so
of
good.
Jackie Chan's Drunken Master stuff that he did forever ago, because it was damn, this is really convincing. His body movements feels like he's drunk, and I feel like Donnie Yen's on the side being I've developed a blind man fighting style. I was why? And he's well, you don't know what I'm looking at, so you don't know what I'm going to punch next.
The very first thing he does when he was do your job, the guys are shooting at him, and he just goes into that commando role.
What is happening?
My favorite part of the movie was in WWE and all that stuff. You see tag team, and you see them fight with each other, a common opponent. So we got to see that here a little bit at the end with Donnie Yen and John Wick, and then in the beginning with John Wick and the girl. I always forget the girl's name, but they had this one kill which was called
Akira.
What was her name?
Akira.
Where she was she shot the guy in the arrow with the knee, and then he came off and hit him off with the head slice, and then in the end where Donnie Yen will team up with his which is the stick that he has and sword, and he'll just shoot him that way. So just them feeding off with each other. That was just a cool way to see how they would kill one another with teamwork.
Yeah.
The Osaka Tower stuff, I think, started the movie. It kind of set the tone. It built up. It had Red Wedding-esque vibes, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention how cool it was. But for me, my favorite was the Fat Man fight in the middle at the club in Berlin.
Who was that guy?
Oh yeah, he is great.
I found that to be
gonna look him up
absolutely, one, hella entertaining, two, funny as shit, and three, really surprising. When the dude's running from him, and you're oh man, John Wick's gonna, in my head, I'm yeah, John's gonna catch him in his crowd and murk this fool. And he turns around and hits him in the chest with 120 pounds of kick.
And that kick was
fast. I was bro, I can't get my leg up that high. And then he's just
in a fat.
Yes,
is he in a fat suit?
It's somebody in a prosthetic.
Yeah,
okay.
That's German Kingpin, dude. Cast him instead of Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw that guy, I was that should have been Mr. Fitz.
It's Scott Adkins.
Oh, for real? Hold on, no, show me this picture.
Wait.
He's been on. He's a stunt coordinator who's been in a bunch of shit with He's got the quarter digital thing. He's always on there.
Oh,
yeah, man. I know.
Scott Adkins.
That's bro.
Put
That's
a picture
hilarious.
of him up when you
Whoa.
can, dude. That's
Damn.
So it's wild that he got to do that because he's like, I bet you he was hype as shit, bro.
He's unrecognizable.
Everyone do an impression of his face when he died.
Hey, but that fight. One, all right. So I think that this is like the most John Wickiest of the John Wick movies. It has like all the John Wick tropes, and I really love it for that. And I'll talk about that in my ranking. But when they're at this club, man, and like these people are just in the background dancing, I'm like, what the hell is this? How like clubs in Berlin are? Like people are just like dancing to techno music while a fat man just whooping a little skinny dude up and down. And y'all
How
are
many
just
drugs?
All the drugs. Just
because
I don't know what's happening.
If you're super fucked up and that's happening, your first thing would be like, whoa.
But yeah, that fight.
It wasn't until later some of them were like, oh no.
That fight, it was my favorite because of Scott. Like he really, he surprised me. I couldn't tell he was under the makeup. He surprised me, and then like
you think
kept
he's just like this like
surprise moves, and I was like, yo, this
usually
is kind of
like
wild.
you know what to expect when it's a big dude. It's gonna be like brute attacks, like, but he was moving.
He was like, and that's what I loved about it. It was like, that's kind of scary. Like I think I would know some big people that could be fast, but like for not that long, you know what I mean? Like they don't have the endurance, and I was like, bro, like it's scary that he's that big and like that fast, that quick. Like that's kind of terrifying. And that one was really cool.
How would you guys rank the movies? How does this one rank?
But I kind of real quick say that just the Mr. Robot thing, like that over the top view with the incendiary rounds was amazing. If you like that, definitely watch Mr. Robot because that cinematography is there too. The same type of shot. I couldn't help but think that it took me 60 headshots with marksman rifles to be able to unlock the incendiary rounds on Call of Duty, and these guys just.
And then he picks up that shotgun, shoots the dude, and it like catches on fire, and he's like, oh, and then he just goes about the building, and it just like the camera zooms out, and it's just him top down shooting through walls, just blowing people up. Like that was pretty awesome. And,
equipping Dragon's Breath like it's nothing.
Mr. Nobody had a marksman rifle. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. He unlocked
Dude, that part was so
the like Winchester style boy.
Who choreoed this? Like,
did you see the stunt team
For
at the
some
end?
people,
It
by
was
some
it was a whole it was an army, bro. Like,
bro, it's just
it was so many people. I heard this thing that they were like they're literally using every stuntman in Hollywood. Like for a brief period of time, like no one can do stunts
it's a
right
love
now
letter to that,
because
too.
like all the stunt people are in John Wick right now.
Also, though, every action shot in this movie, you'll notice is super long. You know, that's pure talent right there, right
now.
They have to have set a record with the longest staircase fall at the end. Like that guy fell the whole way. Like one of them fell from top to bottom, 200 staircases. That has to be some kind of record. Like, man, this must have been so. Like, if you're a stunt person, this must have been like
the movie to be on.
Man,
I'll give my hot take, and because it's gonna be.
He ain't dead though, right?
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Hot take. I put this at number 1.
what?
If I'm giving this one an S tier, then I would probably give John Wick 1 like A+ tier, like as close to S as possible. Only because for me, this movie kind of has every single trope that I expect to be in a John Wick movie. Just like Die Hard is. The first Die Hard movie is a Die Hard movie. All the other ones, not really. Speed is Die Hard on a bus. It's either Olympus Fallen or the other president movie where they attack the White House. That one's Die Hard in the White House. And because it's got those tropes that make it that. And I feel like if you wanted to go and make a John Wick-esque movie, you watch this fourth one and you do those things. And it and you just like, oh look, that's this. And there's some things where like those falls that he takes are like take you out of it just a little bit. But I'm not exactly in John Wick for realism because they got bulletproof suits on that they're using as shields. So like we're already past that. So like just give me, you know, like if you wanted to make a Fast and the Furious movie, you know all the things you would need. Like Fast and the Furious didn't hit its stride until they started heisting things, and now it's a heist movie. And like that's what it is. And like this feels like that big moment, but for this franchise.
You said it, like the movies are losing a little bit of the plausibility. Like he's like jumping off of buildings and surviving. But I think like the movies have kind of evolved into like it's so based around Keanu and his whole career that it's now become fun for the fans to be like, oh, I think it's connected to all of these other franchises. Like this could be canon with the Matrix, and now I think they're kind of playing into that, you know. So like
He also gets shot off a roof in the second one.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. Something also kind of... Does he get slapped with a car in the first one, or is that the
Oh,
second
he's
one
gone
too?
through so many like injuries where it's
Like every time he
you
gets
know,
hit with a car, you're like, you should probably not get back up. And he's just...
But
I understand it. But so it's fine.
so what's your ranking? It was 4.
Oh, it would be 4, 1, 2, 3.
You like 2 better than 3?
2, 3, 4, 1.
I don't remember 2 and 3 enough.
I don't remember.
3 is the one with Halle Berry.
It is. I don't remember that
2
one.
is the
super
one with
well.
Common.
Yeah.
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 Well, Common. Yeah.
I like every time I think of 2, I think of the big shootout in the tunnel and
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
like kind of operatic like the like concert, all
The
that.
concert,
like,
yeah.
But I saw 3 2 times on a plane, and I remember it like I was like tired. So maybe that's on me. That's just my take.
Okay.
Take what you will with it. The dogs and the horse killing 3 are fucking sweet.
All right, Pat.
For me, it's 1, 4, 2, 3.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, mine's the same as Pat's, but as far as like caliber of action sequences, 4 takes the cake for
Yeah.
sure. Like,
Yeah.
as a movie, I think 1 has like it's that original. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be at the top.
You got to
for me.
give it
Yeah.
that OG respect. So like, yeah, if it wasn't for that, then 4 would be at the top for me too. It's just so ambitious. But I'd go 1, 4, 3, 2. 2 for me is the weakest one.
Yeah.
But
Parabellum, or was that no?
Parabellum is 3.
3. Okay.
2 is
2 is just chapter 2, I think.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's our rankings. So let's talk about the ending real quick. What did you guys think about the ending? Is
He ain't dead.
Is he dead or isn't he dead?
I low key think he's dead because like you just like what can he do anymore?
He
can't-
always
can't.
comes back.
There's an absolute tie into the Matrix. The ending, I think, just leads it more open for more of that to happen. I think.
I think it's gonna be a female John Wick now. If he's then
I think that you're both right, but like he has said in an interview that he'll keep making the movies as long as people want them.
Yeah.
So I think this is a genius way for them to kind of test the waters of like how successful a 4th movie in this franchise is, and if it's worth making or not. Like he's Schrodinger's Wick right now.
It's one
You
of
know,
those
like,
things.
Like they can easily bring him back because like we didn't see him die or a funeral. It just cuts to his gravestone. So by the rules of cinema,
Yeah.
he's alive.
He's gonna
But-
next movie he's watching.
But
is
if they're
From Over
looking at the
Hill.
numbers and they're like, I don't know if it's worth making another one, then this is a nice little wrap up too. But they are spinning off into other properties. There's a Continental show coming
Nice.
out.
Show.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be like a mini series, and
down for that.
there's a movie called The Ballerina coming out. There's other
Movie.
There's
I think
there's other properties in the works.
I have a theory.
for this one, I super like the way that it ended. It's kind of sad though, because here's the thing: is that like, all right, so the story of the character of John Wick is him getting out of the game, and then his wife dies, and then kill his dog, and he's like pulled back in, right? And then everyone keeps telling him like, you aren't anything but a weapon. Like all you are is death incarnate. Like people keep saying these things to him, and then so I think his story actually wraps up really well with him getting out and not being involved anymore. And so like, yeah, I want to see Keanu Reeves go hard again in this role. But 2, I'm going to be very sad for his character that he's literally pulled back into having to be the murder man that he's
think,
trying so hard not to be. And on his tombstone, they were like, what do you want me to put? Like, Death Incarnate, the Grim Reaper and shit? He's like, put a good, loving husband, because like that's how he wants to be remembered, and that's how he wants to have gone. So for this to end the John Wick quadrilogy is great for him and for the character. I do want to see more Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sad to be like, oh, you're back in it. You can't get out, bro.
Yeah.
You're kind of in your own personal hell where you have to murder people every 10
Whatever
seconds.
happened in the second movie, I think, is important to the story because wasn't there some kind of finality to the
whatever.
first movie?
Yeah.
And then like he kind of gets pulled back in because some guy's like, I got your mark.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah,
oh, well, if you're back
So-
in the game, then you
That's
also
what he was
still.
trying to get back from in
Yeah.
the Jordan Desert. He was
Yeah.
trying to get his coin back.
Like the world of John Wick and the story is really interesting, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, yeah, sure, kind of things. You know, it's like, yeah, there's a marker. Okay, your necklace is a ticket. It's like, you know, it's like whatever they feed you is like, yeah, sure. But it also kind of builds this like, what's happening here? Like, what's going on? Like, what kind of world
The
is
show's,
this?
show's gonna
It's,
expand.
I love that they just give it to you in little nuggets that like can matter to you if you want to look deeper into it, or you can just accept it as like, sure.
It's an iceberg.
I have
Yeah.
a theory time. All the greatest action heroes have to like fake their death, so this is what that is to me. Clearly, like you said, like this is a way for him to be out. Like Jack Bauer did it too. Yeah. Any John Wick 5 trailer is gonna be a spoiler, like that he's still alive. So if they really wanted the oomph in that, they would put him in one of the spin-offs and like really keep it under wraps.
You know that
and have him come back. Like
And then that's a reason to watch the spinoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it might be in the Continental now.
Also, will say too, old girl Akita going after Donnie Yen. Let me tell you why Donnie Yen's going to survive that.
Because he's
because
too
he's
good.
blind and he's going to hear that knife pop out.
And
is
he's
why.
and
Yeah.
The fact I thought
But
she
he
was,
told her to come for him. Like,
You want-
he wanted it.
Well, I thought he said I'll be waiting for you, but that was like on some Kill Bill shit. Like,
Oh,
if you
yeah, that's
if you
what I
got
thought.
grievances, come and get it. But
Yeah.
the thing is that like they could, all right. So the movie's been telling you this whole entire time that Donnie Yen has expert hearing. This is how he's a good assassin, right?
Yeah.
She could have walked. She knew this. She could have walked up with a regular blade. She could have walked up with anything.
You gotta come in with the
Instead, she
OTF.
with the, psst. And
The
like, they didn't have
microtech.
to show you his reaction. He reacted.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah,
there's no way. And plus,
And he's
Donnie
too-
Yen did
he's
such
too
a good
good.
job as such a iconic blind swordsman, like, which is just one of those like mythological things that have been around forever. But the way he portrayed it, I think we need more of that.
Yeah, and I really liked him. I think he was the best like villain of like this series, like the big bad, because like all the other big bads have just been like hired to be like
Like
you're-
goons.
Yeah,
Well, not goons, but they've been like,
But this
I send
one-
people to do my stuff.
Exactly, and it was more of the same here, but there was like a motivation behind it. Like he doesn't want to do it. You know, so
He
it
was
like,
the person that they sent to do the stuff.
yeah.
And,
Okay,
Skarsgård played his smarmy villain as well. Like
Is
the
he
only
10
time he
feet
got
tall, bro? What's wrong with
Yeah,
that dude?
what? I
Like,
guess
when he
'cause
stood next to him, I was like, hold on, what the fuck is
that's
that?
why they got him to be Pennywise.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess because
His whole family, they're all giants, bro.
and I do wish Lance Reddick had a bigger role, but you know, rest in peace to Lance Reddick. Also.
I think it was kind of a good send off for him.
It was a
his
good send off,
character.
but the thing is, he passed away after the movie, so the fact that they filmed it that way, it's almost like maybe.
What did he-
Did they put this in the universe?
Maybe they knew. Like, did he have?
I mean, he
health-
might have been
He might have had
sick.
health
Something
problems.
like that.
I feel like I don't
No,
know.
I feel like they were gonna just always kill off his character.
He was a good character, but he hadn't really done anything yet.
In
You
3,
know
he
who
goes
the-
off. He pops
He does
off
go
in
off in
3.
three,
You
yeah.
know who Sharon is in like mythology?
No.
It's like the
Is it from Hades? Is he in Hades?
Yeah, Sharon, but he's also in Mortal Kombat, but they got it from Greek mythology.
Okay.
He's like the person that ferries the Sea of the Dead, like
Uh-huh,
ferries the
yeah,
from the
yeah,
living to
yeah.
the dead.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
definitely, to bring up video games one more time, in the game Hades, it's a very hard game, and after you beat the boss the first time, because he's just like, no, you didn't. We're doing that again.
Yep.
And it felt like when John Wick got to the top of the stairs just to get thrown on straight video game shit, it was just
Play
like,
the dun dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
one more time. And I was like, no, bro. Also, they said something about Tartarus in this movie, too, didn't they?
They did? I didn't remember.
I thought they did. They said another.
There's layers, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers.
I like
So-
a stupid smart movie. You know what I mean?
So,
I want to see it again.
would you
really.
want a fifth? Do you want more?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Do you want more?
Thanks, guys. Are you guys going to see the next John Wick?
Absolutely.
If they're making another one, I'm here to see it.
Yeah, it's been kicking Marvel's ass, right?
That's what we were just talking about, man. Like, it's
Even the post-credit scene was better than the Marvel.
yeah, it really was. We had talked about that. Like, we probably wouldn't have shown up for like, I don't know, Iron Man 11 or something. But like, yeah, this was cool for sure.
I didn't know I wanted I didn't know I wanted 2 and 3 and 4, but
honestly, when 3 didn't end, I was concerned. I was like, really? I thought like we were gonna cap it. It was a nice little
See,
trilogy.
but I think 3 was just all right in this
But-
one. Like, if it ended here, this is the home run.
But again, now I think it's bigger than what the movies are about. It's just turning into this love letter for the stunt industry, Keanu Reeves' career, all this pop culture. Like it's become bigger than itself.
I get what you're
And,
saying.
Dude,
and so no matter what they bring to the table, it's gonna be good because it's not taking itself so seriously.
and
you know, like,
these stunt people know the caliber of films these are. Like at this point, they've created something completely unique
Yeah.
to themselves.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
they're
it's-
always gonna put 100% into these. There was like a paragraph of medic teams on stage. Like, you know what that's for. Like, all these stunt guys are doing crazy ass shit. You know how many people got run over by a car in this fucking movie?
And to
They were
that
throwing
credit,
people into cars. So
And
Bro.
dogs.
to that credit too, the editing. Well, so going to go see this on IMAX is, and like
Dude, the
the-
sound
must.
design.
someone's gonna put out a video essay on the editing. Going to see anything in IMAX, me and Dameron usually sit in the far back when we go. This is my first time sitting in the middle in a long time, and I was concerned I wasn't gonna be able to keep up with the action. But the editing, buttery smooth. Never 1 second was I like, hold on, what happened? The sound
Yeah,
design. Every time
actually.
anybody was stabbed or shot, the sound design gave you a cue to know that that person was dead. It gave you a cue to understand that Donnie Yen heard that thing over there, and that's why he was making this move. The sound design impeccable, and the editing. There was never a moment where some stunt performer took a hit and it got cut 10 times, like in Taken 2. Liam Neeson jumps over a fence and it's literally cut 5 times to watch this man jump over a fence, and that's trash. And here, that I was like, oh man, they're gonna cut this up a bunch, and like it's like kind of flashing and the lights. No, You saw everything.
The very first scene of him just hitting that
sound,
like that sound design of like holy shit. That's what we're in for.
Hearing that made me regret not seeing Dune there so hard.
Oh my
god,
that was so good.
I can only imagine what that must. But yeah, I mean, man, this was incredible. I'm definitely gonna go see it a few more times. But yeah, guys, this was our review. So freaking good. Go watch it. Bye.
Bye.